Hey everyone, and we're back. And thanks again for joining us at Legal Talk with Natalia and Mac, and Mac Pierre-Louis. And I'm going to let my partner in crime, Natalia Laska, take over and introduce the next topic.
Thank you so much, Mike. I wanted to say that it is a great pleasure to have our friend and contributor to our podcast, Ty Bordoni, with us today. Ty has a special place, not just in our hearts, but also on our podcast with his special playlist, which is Mediating with and or Without Attorneys with Ty Bordoni. And Ty is going to be with us and talking today about complaining against unfair business issues. We thought that this topic would be practical, but before we go into the guts of that, Ty, tell us a few words about yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on. I am the director of mediation at the Mediation Center of Central Florida. I'm also a primary mediation trainer, and I'm the senior mediator here. And I just love meeting.
Thank you so much for that, Ty. And really, it's a great pleasure. You have been training a lot of mediators. You have been having your particular place in mediation and the legal world in Central Florida. And because of your vast expertise, this is how we would want to start our today's topic. Um, this is actually the topic you suggested because of its practicality. Every now and then in our lives, we are both the consumers where we buy goods, or we are actual entrepreneurs who are having certain clients who are buying our goods, like your trainings or with us lawyers who are coming to us for legal advice. And now there it comes a moment where something goes wrong and someone wishes to claim against something that was not working. Can you tell us how you see it? What's the way to do that?
Yeah. We have issues sometimes. Something happens, and we don't think it's fair. We don't like how we're treated. And sometimes when you call a business and you want to complain, and sometimes the bigger the business, the harder it is. You're calling and you're speaking with customer service, and it seems like you don't get anywhere. And what I found is that there are ways to leverage your complaint. And I've seen this, in practice. I've seen folks do this really successfully. And what that is I like to call it the soft power of the hard complaint. So let's say you have a business that you just don't like how you've been treated, and you want to complain, and you want to see some results. So of course you complain, but by the same token, find out from a state, federal, and a local perspective, what are the agencies that have any kind of control over that business, their license or the industry? Are they regulated? And or who can you complain to in your state, in your area? And so typically there are multiple agencies, two, three, four, five, six of them, write complaints against the company with each of them, right? And let's say there are six different agencies. So I would do two at a time, two every 2 weeks. And you write a really good complaint and you send them off. So what happens is, so you're spacing it every 2 weeks and you're sending off two complaints or one complaint or three complaints. I like to kind of keep it even. And what happens is over the course of 2, 3, 4 weeks, a month, complaints keep on coming in against this company. And typically that starts to put leverage on. And I like to say laterally, right? It comes on the side, it not directly with them. And when those agencies you're complaining to control their license, typically they have to respond. And it's their attorneys who are going to respond. And so it starts to cost them money, and they will pay more attention to these kinds of complaints, right? And so the people who are just complaining straight on, it kind of stops at a certain place. But when people start complaining really well with a really nice written letter, and they start complaining to these agencies, these companies will pay attention. And I like to space them out. So one or two every 2 weeks or so. And it tends to get them to pay attention. And by the way, you can also complain again, right? Google reviews on social media. And so the more that we do that, the more that we're able to be heard, the better results typically people get when they know how to complain.
And Ty, you can hear me. So one of the
Yeah,
things about complaining is you want to make sure you're doing it for a legitimate issue, right? And so you want to make sure,
absolutely.
yeah, because look, there are laws regarding slander and libel in this country and many parts of the world where
Absolutely.
if you accuse someone or even a business of doing something
Hmm.
falsely just because you're mad at them, or you didn't
Right,
get your way, um,
right,
it might not work
right.
out too well for you. I think of what's going on between Fox News and Dominion that just got settled recently for what, $785 million. So it goes to show that if you're going to complain about a company and run their name through the mud, you got to be very
Be
careful.
ethical.
So what are your thoughts about that? And do you have any examples you can give us? Because I'm thinking about car mechanics, because typically they're the ones who get the most complaints. But what have been your experience?
Mm. Well, so one, I couldn't agree with you more. Be ethical. You don't just do this on a whim. This is you're having a legitimate issue. You're having a legitimate complaint. Where I have seen it work well is with, for instance, a solar company. Someone's having a horrible, horrible, horrible experience with the solar company. And what they did was not only did they complain, not only, by the way, seeking legal advice, always a good idea, but they wrote good complaints to the agencies that that had some kind of measure of control over the solar panel company, for instance, right? And they wrote quite a few complaints, and so every time I have seen individuals do this, the things that they have in common are that they wrote really good complaints. They had a good ethical reason to complain. I love that you brought that up. I think that's so important, right? Complain because you have to complain because something really is going on, and not just because you feel like complaining. And then because you write the right complaint with the appropriate agencies, and it's more than one, as many as you possibly can, spacing them out, um, they tend to take notice, right? Especially homeowners associations. I've seen it also be work very well against homeowners associations. I've seen it work against debts that people owed, said that they didn't owe. Any one of a number of different places. I assume that it can absolutely also work with other issues. I think you mentioned
Car
if
mechanics.
someone has car mechanics and issues. Now, this really is more for businesses, um, bigger businesses. Although I'm sure it can work with smaller, businesses. Google reviews are always going to work as well, right? Social media, you can reach a lot of folks with social media. Google reviews are important to businesses. And so if they've done something wrong, others should know about it. So the Google review is more with respect to the reputation, but getting them to listen and to pay attention. That's why writing the different agencies and a little bit of research on Google, and you can find out where you can complain to in your state, your locally, which agencies are going to be the agencies to write a complaint to. So it's really more about leverage. It's about when a company sees that you've written two, three, four, five complaints, they're going to respond, especially if that complaint has something to do, again, with their regulated industry or their license, something of that nature.
And Ty, do you think that writing this sort of complaints is a good way to actually motivate people to go to mediation?
I think I'm a mediator, so I believe in mediation. And some industries, the insurance industry, for instance, they do have mediation programs. And so I would tell you that this complaint process that I'm talking about has a place within the structure of any complaint. And so I would write the complaints before you're going to go somewhere. So if you want to go to arbitration or go to mediation, write the complaints, send them off, and then request mediation. Mediation can be a great place to resolve issues. But my sense is that I've seen it work. First, you complain, and then get yourself into the position where going to mediation is going to have some kind of um, you're going to have a better likelihood of success because they're going to be motivated to come to find some kind of resolution with you. So if there's mediation that you can attend or arbitration or something, great, utilize it. But I think within the context of what I'm saying, you complain first, complain well, complain the right way. The squeaky wheel is going to get attention, and then go to mediation, and hopefully they're going to be willing and motivated to find a good resolution.
Yeah, go ahead, Natalia.
Yes, because of this is our fourth segment for today. I think that with that, we want to close out and say how much we're grateful that you appeared with us from Florida to Texas,
My pleasure.
combining Poland on the way with me. And we will definitely have you for more. We'll have you for more mediation pieces. And in the meantime, please, everybody, check out our YouTube channel at LMI Podcast, Lawyers and Mediators International Podcast. And please also see Ty Bordoni's materials, where there is a lot how to prepare yourself for mediation, how to go to mediation with or without an attorney. And that would be all from us for today. Thank you so much for being with us.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
This has been a Now Media Television feature presentation. All rights reserved.